All right, so boom, rise together, team. What are we saying? I don't know why I've called you that, but that's who you are now. So awesome week from the two of you who checked in. Look, I know I ain't been on the check-ins as much. I was almost dying over last weekend. I was ill. My apologies. Get back on your check-ins because I'm back. Okay. What I also wanted to cover is one thing I'm noticing is binging. And I want to deal with that because it's really common to binge and then blame yourself. But really, all it is the interaction between your brain and your other brain. So if maybe you have read a book called The Chimp Paradox, where basically you have different brains in your brain. Some are focused on survival, some neurological systems are focused on survival, some allow you to think. So you might have been in a stressful situation and all of a sudden you have an out-of-body experience. You literally can't think straight because you're either so angry, so scared, so fearful, any of those things. So what it starts with is binging is when you are stressed, you lose your ability to make decisions and to decide what you want almost because your prefrontal cortex is no longer functioning. This happens because of increased stress hormones. So if you're tired, if you've had a tough week, if you don't have as much structure and you're stressed, your cortisol goes up. When your cortisol goes up, that is the stress hormone. It's a mobilizing hormone. So it's telling all of your body, hey, like we are going to be using this energy to survive. So cortisol goes up when you don't eat enough, when you're in stressful situations, when you're just generally having a tough time and you feel like you're in a survival situation, cortisol goes up. Your body utilizes or mobilizes the fat stores and turns it into glucose. And in return, it's like, hey, we're going to need quick sources of energy. So let us get anything delicious, full of sugar, full of fat to fuel us so that we can be ready to go at any point. So the reason why is that if you are stressed, if you're not getting enough sleep, your body is literally thinking that you're in a survival situation, and all those circuits that have been built in over millions of years of evolution take over. There isn't a huge amount you can do with that. So what I suggest to get past that, sleep enough. If you aren't getting enough sleep and you want to change your body, then it's the trade-off. You can't fight your biology. It's not possible. All these circuits are built in. The same way, it's like me saying, hey, I have this tarantula in my hand and I hold it out to you. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You're scared. You can't decide that. It's the same. There is circuitry inside of us that we are not in control of, and we need to manage it by making smart decisions. The second thing is when you don't get enough sleep or when you are stressed, ghrelin, which is a satiety hormone, which makes you feel full, goes down. So ghrelin is the hunger hormone. Leptin is a satiety hormone. When your ghrelin is up, whether that's from reduced sleep, increased stress, these types of things, what that means is you're going to be hungry. Your hormones are up. You cannot decide that you're not hungry. It's not possible unless you are extremely stressed. Even then, it's going to be up. So when you're stressed, when you're hungry, when you don't have predictability or structural comfort in your life, ghrelin goes up. If that goes up, you are going to be hungrier, and then you end up binging because your ghrelin's up. Leptin, the satiety hormone, that goes down. So it signals that your body is full, and it's higher when you get enough sleep, when you're not as stressed, etc., all those things. So all these nerve centers or systems, we're trying to manage them. And that's how we reduce the likelihood of binging. Instead of beating ourselves up with our cognitive brain, with our thinking brain, thinking, oh, I just needed to decide to do different. You've got a brain designed to protect you that you're falling back to because you're not sleeping enough, eating enough, your calories are slightly too low maybe, and you're doing crazy stuff and your life's unpredictable. That's why. So at any point, if you find you binge a lot, the solution is that you eat enough, full stop, track your food, and make sure your calories are high enough. Because if they aren't high enough, you're going to trigger these fight or flight responses to then kick in and protect you. And then you're going to lose all your ability to make good decisions. Sleep enough. is second. If you're not sleeping enough, again, ghrelin goes up, leptin comes down. If those two hormones are out of whack, out of balance, that means that you're going to be hungrier. Amygdala kicks in again because you can't. Your prefrontal cortex is too weak because you're tired. You can't make good decisions. Amygdala kicks in. You're stressed. You're hungry. It's just what happens. You don't get to decide. And lastly, stress management. The best thing to do is to reduce the amount of stressful situations you're in. So protect yourself. Have harder boundaries. There's going to be times when you have to basically vouch for yourself to make sure you're safe. And by doing that, you are then going to create an environment where you can be less stressed and you're not going to want to eat as much because your amygdala isn't kicking in as hard. So it's all linked in together. And if you can manage the overeating, make sure the calories are a little bit higher, increase how much you're sleeping, and reduce the stress, you will stop binging. Okay. So I know that was a lot. Probably going to have to edit this up a little bit. Hopefully you missed those cuts. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And if there's anything else that you guys need help with, do not be scared to let me know. Our plan for this week, guys, big focus is on nutrition. I mentioned to a couple of you to track your food because there is a very special surprise for some of y'all. All right, but my G's, bless up. You have a good week. To like, subscribe if you want to get in the shape of your life, if you want to stop binging, overeating, etc., etc.